Furry and adorable, cats or dogs are the favorite pet for many families. However, thousands of Americans know man's best friend as something that just might slither on up to you. With careful planning, these amphibians and reptiles can be a wonderful addition to the family. Here to talk about their care and introduce us to a few of his friends is Jon of The Lizard Guys. Welcome, Jon.
Hello.
So you got a friend up here on the table with us right now. What do we have here?
This is an African tortoise. He's a sulcata.
A sulcata?
Yes.
Now, is this about as big as he'll get?
He will actually probably double this size.
Really?
These guys can reach almost upwards of 100 pounds, even more.
Really?
Yeah.
So is this the type of thing that you would recommend as a pet at home?
This absolutely would not make a good pet at home.
Really? It's just because of the size or other reasons?
These guys, they're strong. They need a lot of space. They need to eat all day long. They're foragers, and they like to eat their vegetables all day long. They start out nice and small and cute, but as they get bigger, they can destroy a home.
Really? Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. He's a handsome bugger, so talk to me.
He's very, very pretty. Now these guys, I mean, they're desert tortoises. You know, he'll hang out all day long, usually like to sleep and stuff like that. You know, that when the sun starts to go down, they usually come out of their little tunnels and holes and stuff, look for food, and then during the nighttime they go back to sleep because it's a little cold in the desert. Then when the sun starts to come up again, they'll come out, forage for a little bit more food, and then it gets pretty hot in the desert, so during the daytime they usually just kind of hang out in their holes and stuff and sleep.
So this particular tortoise wouldn't be a good type to have at home, but are there ones that are?
Oh, there absolutely are.
Do you have any with you?
I actually don't have any with me today.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I know we've got a fun guy coming up, so I was just...
let me bring out this guy right here.
Okay. So who are we about to meet now?
This guy right here, this is Calvin.
Now I notice you have him in a sack. Oh my goodness, look at how glossy he is. Calvin. You had him in a sack. Why is that?
It's the easiest way to bring him around without having to worry about him escaping in my car or on the road or something like that.
That's a good thing. Now what kind of snake is Calvin?
Now Calvin here is a California king snake. Yes.
Is this the kind of snake that you might think would be a good pet?
Perfect. Absolutely.
Is it okay if we move that blanket?
Absolutely, sure.
Thank you. We could put it on the couch. So he would be a good pet.
He absolutely would. I mean, he stays small. He's just about full grown right now. These guys, they eat once or twice a week. You basically just have to keep him warm, give him a nice little hiding spot, and he's absolutely, absolutely stunning.
He is.
Basically, you know, even if you forget to feed him one time, the world's not going to fall apart. You know, you feed him in a couple days. They don't eat that often. A little bit of water, and he's happy. If you don't say hello to him for a day and you don't pet him, he'll be all right. He's not going to get stressed out. So relatively low maintenance. Now talk to me a little bit about what he eats, because I know some snakes eat live mice and things. Is that one of his delicacies as well? He does like to eat mice, but he actually doesn't eat live mice. Oh, really? Yes. Well, I guess that's an added bonus. So you can bring them home dead. He's just looking at me mesmerized. You can bring them home dead or frozen. I guess you've got to have the stomach for that as well. Well, you know, people have no problem going out and buying a frozen turkey. Am I right? That's true. And you look at a lot of freezers, chicken or turkey and stuff, it's basically the same thing. Oh, except mice. That's true. And you don't have to cook them. He's so delicate. Oh, excellent. All right, I'm going to give him back to you, Jon, because I know you've got another buddy in there for us to visit with. Yes. And we'll put him away. Now, how long would a snake like that live? These guys, their lifespan is probably about 15 to 20 years. Really? Yes. That's still a long time that you kind of have to think about. Well, yeah. I mean, not nearly as much as a tortoise or something like that. And these guys, this guy right here, this is Freddie. Hey, Freddie. Now, is Freddie a frog or a toad? Freddie is a frog. Okay, and how can you typically tell? I mean, I know in terms of where they live, but from looking at them? I mean, generally right off the bat, frogs usually have a smoother skin than a toad does. It's not always true. There are some exceptions. But this guy right here, he's a frog. Frogs usually have webbed feet. They're usually very good swimmers. Okay. This guy right here, he's not the best swimmer in the world. He's actually a tree frog. Really? So he'll spend most of his days hanging out in a tree. Huh. Now, would he be a good pet? Now, these guys, a little bit more difficult than a snake and stuff, only because they require moisture, lots and lots of moisture. As you can feel, he's got he's actually kind of a little slimy. He is. He touches back. He stays wet all the time. But really? Does that actually come out through his skin? Yes. Huh. Yes. And I mean, what happens is these guys are a little bit more susceptible, or they're more vulnerable to toxins and stuff like that. Whereas if you touch the snake and stuff like that, you know, it's not really going to bother him, but his skin is actually very sensitive.
Oh, so he could actually absorb things from my hands.
Absolutely.
Oh, goodness. What did I do last? I think I washed my hands.
I checked your hands. You're okay.
Oh, good. Oh, good. So, something we have to think about, I guess, when you've got pets that you're bringing home like this that aren't the traditional, is their environment. And you said this little guy likes to have a wet environment, which is crucial, right?
I mean, he likes to be on moss. He likes to be nice and wet all the time, and even if it dries up, he will dry up like a crusty sponge.
Oh my goodness! So is it best to have him in a terrarium, something that's airtight?
Yes.
Now, does temperature play a role when we're talking about animals like these?
Absolutely. All these animals, they're all cold-blooded, which means they don't survive the same way we do. You know. You wake up in the morning, you eat some breakfast, it's like, yeah, I got energy for the day. When he eats breakfast, he just gets fat. Nothing else happens. He needs to stay warm in order to have energy. So as he cools down, he starts to lose energy, starts to move a little slower. He needs to stay nice and warm.
Now I know it's a little cool in our studio typically. Is that probably why he's not jumping out of my hands right now? He's
exactly.
So calm and placid.
I mean, these tree frogs are actually pretty docile and they don't move around too much, but it actually helps out a little bit that it's actually a little cool in here. He's like, you know what? I don't feel like moving around that much.
You're just hanging out.
Yeah.
Well, here we go, John. I will give him back to you. So what else did you bring with you? I'm so excited.
This guy out here.
Oh my goodness.
Now this is Harry.
Harry.
I'll give you
Hi, Harry. How we do? Oh, Harry's looking at me out of the corner of his eye. And what is Harry?
Harry is a bearded dragon. Ooh.
A bearded dragon.
Yes. And these guys, he's a step up. These two guys are basically good for beginners.
Really?
You know?
The two that you've got there.
Ooh.
He's a runner. Now they're both, what are they?
This guy right here, this is a leopard gecko.
Uh-huh.
And this is an African fat-tailed gecko.
Really?
I mean, and they're similar. These guys, they actually make very, very good pets because this is about as big as they get. You know, they're not going to get too much bigger than this.
Oh, that's good.
And they're good to handle. Kids can handle these guys. I mean, as you can see, he hangs out on my hand.
Yeah.
In fact, if you want to take Harry, you can put him on my shoulder.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he'll just kind of hang out right there.
Go ahead, Harry. Oh. There he is. Oh, you're right.
You can grab Stella right there.
Stella! Oh, yes. My grandma's name was Stella. Oh, well, so you would recommend these two guys as pets.
Yes.
But what about the I can't remember, spiny dragon?
Bearded dragon.
Bearded dragon.
Yes. Those two are perfect for beginners.
Okay.
You know, my first fat-tailed gecko I got when I was 10 years old.
Really?
And I took care of them all by myself. I looked up all the research and stuff. And then, you know, as you become familiar with reptiles and stuff, a good step up to that is the bearded dragon right here.
Really?
And these guys, they're just, he's a little bit bigger. I mean, as you could tell.
Sure.
These guys, they could reach anywhere from 20 to 24 inches. And they require a little bit more attention, but they're just as docile. I mean, he'll hang out just like this all day long.
Why do you think that lizards and geckos are so popular right now? What's the attraction?
You know what? They're not as popular as people think.
Really?
You know, especially this time around the year with the holidays coming up and stuff like that, dogs are the #1 sellers. Everybody wants a puppy on their birthday. Everybody wants a puppy on Christmas. These guys right here, they kind of get left behind. You know, fish are also very, very popular. These guys, they're starting to build up their steam. They're starting to build up their motion, but still, they're at the bottom. They kind of have a reputation that follows them that they're creepy and crawly. And
they're creepy and crawly, but they're beautiful. Now, how long would these guys live?
These guys, all of these guys, 10, 12, 11, 13, 14, 15 years.
All right, this is
African millipede.
An African millipede.
Yes. And these guys are actually the biggest in the world. They could reach 11, 12 inches or so.
Oh my God, why is it that I just know it's a bug and it's freaking me out?
Well, what makes these guys, look, they reach 10, 11 inches.
10, 11 inches? Right. So is this an adult or is this a...
He's like a teenager. He's like a teenager. So he's going to get bigger. He'll probably double in size.
Don't have an attitude.
They're okay at room temperature.
Okay.
You know, maybe a little bit warmer. They need a little bit of moisture. These guys, they ate rotten apple cores this morning. I had an apple, and I didn't feel like finish it, so I threw it to these guys, and they ate it.
And they eat it. And they don't bite? I should have asked that before I held it.
They don't bite. They don't.
They don't bite.
I wouldn't let anything bite you.
Oh, okay.
They're small.
I trust you, John.
They eat anything you really put in there. They creep people out. You know, if you don't want somebody in your house, you bring these guys out. You're going to get rid of unwanted party
after
guests.
my initial reaction, it's actually kind of cool. Even the feeling feels kind of cool. It's kind of like they're almost like suctioning to my hand.
He will hold on. I mean, these guys, they'll climb trees and stuff, and all these legs, almost 300 of them down there.
Oh my goodness, look at that.
I mean, they will actually hold on.
That is amazing. Look at him. Oh my goodness. John, thank you so much for bringing your friends with you today and answering the questions for all of us. Who knows? Maybe your next pet is going to be this little creepy crawler.